Hi Al, I have been following you and enjoying your YouTube videos for some time. Here is my story. In '99, my pool was built by an installer. In 2007, I needed a liner replacement and my installer recommended Tru-tile, which was installed with the new liner in June of that year. In June of 2020, I again needed a new liner. It was installed by the same installer. But in November of 2020, there was a liner separation which was repaired. But in April of this year, the real issues began. The liner separated and it won't go back. The tiles with the 6-inch white tracking were separating from the pool wall. I understand from your videos at some point Latham decided to limit the supply of the Tru-tile system to installers due to other errors. My questions: have you been continuing to install Tru-tile, and has Latham been providing it? And what, if anything, would you suggest to remedy this issue?
Well, first off, I think that picture, unless you know what you're looking at, you would have no idea what you're looking at that picture. Let me answer the questions. Yes, we are still installing Tru-tile. Yes, Latham is still providing it, but they're limited to a certain number of dealers that have, quote unquote, are qualified to do it. What I did, so here's my story when it comes to Tru-tile, is I love the idea of what we could do with it. And I love the idea of being able to still build my hybrid vinyl liner pool, but have ceramic tile throughout the concrete and the vinyl section. So I really liked it. But what I did was I modified their system where I thought it could be improved. While I think what they had was good, I think what I'm doing is better, and I'm not having those issues. Likely what's happened with your pool is the installer, with the initial installation. So here's how you're supposed to install initially. Is they provide you with some glue to glue the plastic down, and then these plastic thumb, you drill a hole in the steel and you put these thumb pieces in that are supposed to hold the Tru-tile in place. And kind of their idea was, I do believe, I'm not for sure, but that those thumb pieces that stick through the liner hold until the glue is secure. What I didn't like about that was that now we're relying just on the glue and not really on a mechanical, you're not a mechanical bonding mechanism. We're just looking at a physical bonding connection. So what I did is I modified it. I started using a particular type of flat screw that allows me to, first, I no longer use the same gluing material they use. I use a Boss product, 801. Use that very liberally, make sure there's lots of it on there, and then I have a particular screw that I use that locks it in place, and we've had no issues like that. I think probably what happened is that mechanical bond broke and all those pieces are falling off. And now the question is how to remedy it. I certainly think it's remediable. It may require a new liner. I think you said the new liner was in 2020. So maybe the liner is pliable enough. Probably what the installer could do is peel all of the liner off, take all the loose pieces of Tru-tile, and either pop individual the tiles off. I see you used the small 1x1 or 2x2 tile. Again, something I would not do. I always use a 6x6 tile on the Tru-tile. Much easier, long-term, short-term, all of that. Don't have to glue individual tiles. But they could pop out each one of those and put a mechanical fastener and refasten the Tru-tile all the way around and rehang the liner. Will certainly require, if not a new liner, at least draining the pool so that there's enough ability to pull that liner back in place. You probably want to replace all of the locking clips that go in would be a good idea, and it's certainly fixable. Unless I was there and physically saw what they did behind, and I've seen guys try all different kinds of things when they put the Tru-tile system in. If I saw the specifics, I could be able to tell you more, but hopefully that helps.
What screws do you use? The flat screws you mentioned.
So the only supplier that I could find in terms of a big box store is Lowe's has them. I don't know what they're called. I have also found them in various hardware stores, and it is a very broad, flat Phillips screw with a quick taper, and then they come in different lengths.
And it can go on concrete?
It goes through steel.
Okay, what if it's concrete?
If it's concrete, then you have to use concrete screws. So you pre-drill, run concrete screws in. If that wall is concrete, then likely
it looks concrete to me.
That's why it's hard to tell.
It could be
if it's
else.
If it's a concrete wall, then you need to use lots and lots of concrete screws and anchors, as well as lots of glue. However, the glue likely has a greater failure rate on concrete than it does against steel. But if you use plenty of fasteners, you'd be okay. And we're talking ram sets, we're talking any number of concrete screws that are there. Just make sure that you're putting them. As often as there's a hole in that Tru-tile, there should be a screw. And what a lot of guys would do is just put them willy-nilly here and there. Likely there's not enough screws, but if it's a concrete wall, you want to make sure every one of those holes on the Tru-tile is filled.